How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. And yes, my royal family, that title is true, real, and correct. So we're going to get into it. So I want y'all to listen to this first video. And after that, I'm going to play another video, but you will not hear what they have to say. I will read to the royal family.
Of today's National Day of Mourning, there will be some closures happening today that could affect you. News Channel 3's Jeremy Chen is live in the newsroom with more on those closures taking place in the memory of former President George Bush. Jeremy.
Well, good morning, Angela. You won't be seeing your mail coming in today, or you might have the day off from work if you're a federal government employee. The U.S. Postal Service announced it will be suspending mail delivery, retail services, and administrative office activity today due to that National Day of Mourning. This means the post office will be closed. However, you may still get packages delivered today, as limited package delivery will still go on, as post office officials say they don't want to negatively impact customers during a busy holiday season. If you work for the federal government, you do have the day off from work today, with the exception of people deemed vital for national security, defense, and other essential business. If you're perhaps looking to check in on your stocks, they'll also be closed if you're checking the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ. Other places affected include Congress, in which both chambers are suspending votes until after Bush's funeral, and the Supreme Court is suspending oral arguments in a case it's currently hearing. And many other federal courts will also be closed as well. You also get an extra day to file your taxes if you haven't done so already, as the deadline has been extended into tomorrow. All services are expected to resume the next day. Live in the newsroom, Jeremy Chen, News Chen.
All right, my royal family. So, now this was yesterday. I need to clear that up, because I don't want nobody to watch this video and they work for the government and think they off, or wherever they work, governmental, period. So, I got an article to read, and I'm going to, let me see, click it over here and see, how do you justify $500 million? The late President George H.W. Bush's funeral service and related ceremonies could cost American taxpayers around $500 million in lost productivity and wages for federal workers and other expenses. Bush, who passed away November 30th at the age of 94, will be laid to rest on Thursday at his presidential library in College Station, Texas. Following the tradition for presidential funerals, the federal government shut down on Wednesday, and the 41st president's casket will transport across the country on Air Force One for a public viewing in Washington, D.C. The pay holiday for federal workers include Congress and the U.S. Postal Service could cost taxpayers upward to $450 million, according to the estimates. A 2008 analyst by the National Taxpayers Union found the federal holidays cost taxpayers around $450 million per day in holiday pay and lost labor. That figure is based on a 2004 U.S. economical data. The figure is not adjusted for inflation. Federal salaries and federal workforce have grown since then, making it utmost certain in they estimated is low. That's an estimation. Wow. Presidential funerals, which take years of government planning, are traditionally expensive affairs. Taxpayers pay $423 million for federal workers to take off the day off for former President Ronald Reagan funeral in 2004, according to a UIP report. For Bush, Trump, for Okay, 4, Bush Trump authorized the modifying Boeing 747 that service as Air Force One to fly from Washington to Houston this week to pick up Bush casket and bring it to the Capitol for viewing in the rotunda. The presidential plane, which also carried former President George W. Bush and other Bush relatives, made a return flight to Houston on Wednesday. Flights costs for the 2 round-trip Air Force One trip between Houston and Washington, D.C., which runs at more than $200,000 per hour. Wow. Which add up to at least $2 million in travel expenses. The use of Air Force One is in line with previous presidential funerals. In 2004, George W. Bush authorized the plane to transport Reagan's casket. In other ceremonies flourish for George H.W. Bush, such as 21 military planes flying over, honoring the late president's service in the Navy during World War II, could tack on another 126. Let me shut that off, because it'll go to something else that I don't need it to go to. Okay, just to be on the safe side, take this down. Nope, I don't want no damn pop-ups. So, where am I? Let me start that part back over. The use of Air Force One is in line with previous presidential funerals. In 2004, George W. Bush authorized the plane to transport Ronald Reagan. Other ceremonies flourish for George H.W. Bush, such as a 21-plane military flying over, honoring the late president's service in the Navy during World War II, could tack on another 126,000. These estimates do not include other likely costs that will be difficult to assess until after the funeral, such as increased security and Secret Service protection for the high-profile political attendees in Washington, D.C. and Texas. It also doesn't include costs such as an opportunity lost at the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ, which both costs closed shopped on Wednesday. Excuse me. Let me slow down. Wednesday to honor the late president. The shutdown of the U.S. Postal Service during the busy holiday season could also impact American businesses that rely on its services. My royal family. When I seen that numerous articles, I jumped out of the bed. I said, that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous for this country to have to foot the costs at $500 million. $500 million? How do you justify that? In this country, they claim, they don't have no money for the homeless, the down and out. You see, especially up here where I live, you see so many homeless people, and a lot of them are veterans, and a lot of them are white people. Now, this country is real big talking about, they getting on football players for taking a knee and saying you're disrespecting the servicemen that protect, serve, and fight this country. And y'all do them dog dirty. In that $500 million, could you at least take care of the veterans? See, this country is a contradiction, and they are full of it. They hypocrites. How do you justify that? You don't come to the taxpayers and ask them anything. Just with a stroke of a pen or a word. Oh, you got money. You got money for the military. But then you want to say that people are on welfare and sucking on the tits of America. Then we hear all these lies, how wonderful and how gentle and giving and supportive that the Bush family is overall. They leave a legacy. Yes, let me tell you about their legacy. Blood, guts, and murder is felt even overseas. Oh yeah, we can go on and on and on with that crap. How do you justify $500 million? See, this country is very selective on when we just talking strictly money, where they want to appropriate funds. And then they want to make it sound like Trump is being very compassionate. You know, this is a good look for him. He didn't have a choice in the matter, because that's what they gonna do here in America. So we have to not speak ill of the dead, you know, because I know some people ain't gonna like what I say. So the ones that don't like what I say, explain to me how you justify $500 million. Woo, that's a lot of money. Can you imagine what you could do with $500 million? I would imagine that there are people on the streets of America that look like these folks that could use shelter, you know, a warm house to stay in, a hot meal. But you know, during this time, the enemy feels some kind of way. They feel festive. So you'll get your free turkeys and you'll get your free toys. And that will last for a fleeting moment. Then we are back to business as usual. Get your ass on the auction block so we can sell you off, lock you up, and tell numerous lies. Tie your ass to a tree and beat the skin off of your back because you are uppity nigga. So you're going to stay in your place. Oh yeah, this is how they get down in America with your fake ass holidays, you know, and all y'all looking at is your bottom line. That's amazing, my royal family. $500 million. Because I've been seeing it and I was wondering. I said, I wonder what this costs. Amazing. See how I look at it. Yeah, he was a president. And yes, he served this country. You're a citizen now. All I can see is, yeah, you have the funeral there, but you're still a private citizen. You don't shut down this country for stuff like that. People gotta eat, you know? So they don't think nothing of having America absorb utter shit. That's why we are seeing Babylon fall before our eyes. So look at it spiritual. What are they celebrating, my royal family? What are they really celebrating? I'll ask y'all that. So, my royal family, render your voice with your beautiful divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe. What a damn shame.